Hey, we are live. What did it say? Create a room by inviting others to broadcast with you. I ain't creating no room. How you make that go away? Hey, everybody. Oh, we're this week. Oh, wait. Start at the beginning.
Hey, Shawnee, guess what day it is?
What day is it?
Hump Day with the Hearts.
Woo! I have been kind of what's what I say? Since we came back from vacation, it just
Holiday,
doesn't
we
seem.
were on holiday.
Don't I look black? I look black and crispy. I love my tan. The sun was baking. So tonight, instead of talking about sex toys, relationships, stuff like that, we are going to be talking about our trip to Egypt. Oh my goodness. We went on a fabulous trip and we put a couple of stories and stuff on our social media, and a lot of people were asking questions about it. So we said, hey, we'll come on here on Hump Day with the Hearts and talk all about our trip. So that's what we're doing this week.
We're here to share with you.
And it was, thank you. Julia 031973 said I look beautiful. Thank you. So we went to Dubai first. Hey Tamir. We went to Dubai first, and then we went to Egypt. We spent 3 days in Dubai and 8 days in Egypt. Why are you making a face?
Was it 3 days?
2 days.
2
days in Dubai and 8 days in Egypt. It was our 7-year anniversary. We was actually supposed to take this same trip for our 5-year anniversary. Our anniversary is April Fool's Day. So we were supposed to go to Egypt March 24th in 2020. And you know, in March, that's when everything started hitting the fan. And Egypt was like, doors closed to Americans. So we had to cancel our trip. So we finally got to go on one of our bucket list trips and see, our ancestors at work, what they did in BC. And it was everything. And we're wearing our galabayas.
Yeah.
We're wearing our galabayas. So these are, I forget what galabayas actually are. What were they again?
I forgot. I don't know.
So on a cruise, so we did, we went in Dubai. We slept almost a whole day. We were so jet lagged. We missed a lot of sightseeing in Dubai. In Dubai, we also went on a safari one day and rode ATVs and had a barbecue and rode on the camels, all kind of stuff. And we went to Egypt, and part of our Egypt trip was a cruise. And one night on the cruise was a Galabaya party, and everyone wore their Galabaya. So he has his on, I have mine on, but now I can't remember what the meaning was.
I don't know. If anybody knows what the meaning of Galabayas are, please put it in the comments below. Also, once I look it up after this video, I will definitely be putting it in the comments too. But if you know what it is, put it below. Help a brother and a sister out.
But you hear people talking about Egyptian cotton, so we got us some official Egyptian cotton on, and it feels so good. Mine is kind of like a muumuu, but it's comfy. I ain't got nothing. Well, I got a bra on right now because I didn't want my boobs hanging real low.
I don't have.
But when I go in the backyard and chill and relax, I ain't gonna have on nothing. Just my galabaya. So talk about. Do you want to talk about Dubai or just Egypt?
Yeah, let's talk. I guess we could bring in Dubai.
Go ahead. So how did it start?
Well, number one, from DC to Dubai, it was 13 and some change, 14-hour flight that we were in coach.
Economy.
God, dog.
We flew on Emirates. If you're going to fly on economy on any airline, Emirates is not a bad airline to fly economy.
Yeah.
They still give you drinks and, you get 3 meals and everything like that. So Emirates economy still was not bad.
No, it was actually pretty good. But 14-hour flight was a bit long for a brother. And I had good, comfortable seat because I could stretch my legs out, stuff like that.
Because we paid extra for an exit row. So it was nothing in front of us at all.
Yeah, so that was definitely a blessing on that part. But
how did you like Dubai?
So Dubai, I want to go back. Yo, so I love cars. For those of y'all that don't know, I love exotic cars. Bentleys, Ferraris, Porsches, Lamborghinis. And trust me, I got my rocks off in that city. Holy crap. Like,
you just wanted to drive around to everything.
What? That's it. Like, we went in front of our hotel. As soon as you walk out of the hotel, you got Aston Martins, Bentleys, Ferraris, Porsches.
We stayed at a really nice hotel, the V Hilton in Dubai. Our suite was crazy. Yeah, crazy stupid. Yeah,
that definitely. Only part that freaked me out, I don't like heights, and the lobby was like on the 30th something floor. So it was like a dope view. So the view was dope, but it still was, it was kind of tall. Normally you look for check-in, you at the ground level. Nah, this one was different. So I did enjoy the fact that it was different. But going up 34 floors or something, I can't remember where we went for the lobby area, but that was a little different. But the view in the lobby was dope.
But Dubai was okay. We saw a few things. Definitely didn't see an ounce of the stuff that Dubai has to offer. But what I did was, when I booked the trip was always to go to Egypt. So when we booked the trip, it was like a 5-hour layover in Dubai. So I called Emirates up and was like, hey, can I extend this layover to 2 days instead of 5 hours? They're like, sure, put it in. Wasn't even extra. We just extended our layover 2 days. Then went to the airport. To get to Cairo was a little over 3 hours.
It was like 4 and some change.
No, it was 3 hours.
I'll get back to you. I'm putting it. I think it was like more like 5-hour flight for me.
It wasn't.
It was like a 5-hour flight for me.
It was a little over 3 hours to get from Dubai to Cairo. So anyway, so let me back up a little bit. So when I was researching Egypt, and I like this group on Facebook, the Black Travel Movement, got thousands and thousands of people in there. Whenever I'm going somewhere, I like to search my location and look at the posts and look what people say and try to get some pointers. So when I started searching Egypt, everyone was talking about tour guide. Because obviously, once we got there, we knew Egypt is not a place where you just going to jump off the plane, check in a hotel, and you just going to be walking around Cairo willy-nilly. Like, that's not the business.
Not recommended.
That's not the business. So you want to get a tour guide. So we hired a guy. I found in the group, it was a few people who mentioned this one person. And when I contacted that person, they referred me to Kareem. I was like, okay. So he started giving me all these different options. I was like, Kareem, this is an anniversary trip. I like luxury. I want 5 stars. Give me all the good accommodations. So he started setting up different packages, sending me different hotels, different cruises. I wanted to do the cruise up the Nile River. So different ships. I would go on TripAdvisor, do my research, review everything, and then came back to him and was like, okay, I want this hotel. I want this cruise. I saw a lot of people mentioning a hot air balloon ride. People were talking about ATV rides by the pyramid and different things like that. So he set me up a package. I sent him probably like 2/3 of the money because we booked it really fast. I started researching it like in January. We went in March. So I sent him the money and he planned everything. So people ask like, how did you plan this? How did you book this? I ain't booked nothing. Kareem booked it. So I put his WhatsApp information because a lot of people been asking me for his contact information. We only texted on WhatsApp the whole time. And his information is in the description. If you're on Instagram watching, you want his information, I will DM me and I'll send you his WhatsApp. So we got off the plane in Cairo, and right there, you know that feeling with a person holding the sign with your name on it? That's a bomb feeling. So they were right there. Tamia says she loves that group. Well, yeah, Black Travel Movement got a lot of information. So he was right there. And then you had to get a visa in the airport. He went around and did this. And everything was done for us. We were treated like
5 stars, like royalty.
Oh my God, like royalty. Everything was done for us. Yeah. Then we got picked up at the airport and checked into our hotel. Y'all, the hotel, Slim. So it's called Mina House, MENA, Mina House in Cairo. It's a Marriott property.
So all you Bonvoy members,
What's it called?
Bonvoy.
Bon Voyage, like the saying.
Bonvoy,
Bon Voyage.
Bonvoy.
Yeah,
whatever.
that's not it.
Not it, no.
Bon Voyage.
It ain't. Is it Bon Voyage? I thought it say Bonvoy members.
Bon Voyage, like the saying. Bon Voyage, like it means bye.
Really?
Oh my God.
Okay, well we are Bon.
This is a person that when we met ain't had no stamps in his passport.
Yeah, I had one.
You ain't had no stamps.
Well, at
least he had a passport. You ain't have no stamps.
Right. But I used it, but they didn't give me no stamps.
Right. So he ain't he don't know Bon Voyage.
I know what Bon Voyage.
But anyway, so when it is Bon Voyage Marriott points.
Whoever that is, who is that?
Tamia.
Thank you. I love you. I appreciate you. That's why I'm the member, not her.
I'm not saying sorry either.
No.
I think it's.
Oh, it's Bon Voy. That's what it is.
Oh, Nikita says
it's
Bon Voy too.
Yeah.
All right, I'm loud and wrong.
Thank you. I
still not
appreciate
saying
y'all.
sorry. But anyway, so back to Mina House. So we check in Mina House. We go up to our room, y'all.
Fourth floor.
The view from our room. What do you see from our room?
Yeah, you saw the pyramids right from the room.
Right from the room.
Oh, it was gorgeous. It was gorgeous. And when we got there,
I was dead.
It was just a beautiful view. It was like the sun was just shining. You got the sun rays coming down. And it was like perfect for us. Just
perfect.
The property had this green grass and trees.
Big ass swimming pool.
Yeah, pools.
And you know what? I'm one of the people, I don't know if it's like, Americans sometimes are a little snobby. Americans are a little privileged, first world country. So sometimes when I think about going to some of these third world countries, I'm like, oh man, the hotel gonna be some shit. The cruise, we'll get to the cruise later, but I was like, this gonna be horrible. Super dope. I felt like an idiot for being worried about how this place is gonna look. It was so nice. Oh my goodness. So we checked.
Even some of the smaller hotels that we didn't stay in that he had still had recommended, we had went to some of them for dinner, and they still was super nice too. As far as like the restaurants, the lobby area, we didn't see the rooms, but so it's like you didn't have to go to the 5-star level. They still had like 3-star level that was still very comfortable. Yeah.
So once we checked in, Kareem met us because Kareem met us at the hotel, and he took us, we walked across the street to this restaurant.
Oh.
He knew the owner. We went in this restaurant and he took us back in the cut. I was like, oh snap, where we going? So the whole time we was in Cairo, every time somebody moved a certain way or we went back around somewhere, I was like, this is when we die. I kept saying that. This is when we die. So they took us in the back in the cut of the restaurant. But that's where all the seafood, all the fish and shrimps and crab, everything was on ice. And they was like, which one you want? I'm like,
freshly caught seafood from that morning. It was caught that morning. And we were sitting there having it on ice. It was on ice right in front of us.
And he's like, which one? I'm like, I don't know.
You get to pick your fish. One. You got to pick your
so we picked out a whole sea bass. I think like a dozen shrimp and 2 crabs. I love, if you know me personally, I love crabs. So I saw the crabs. I was like, yeah, let me get 2 of them too. So we went upstairs. Same thing, view of the pyramids from the balcony of the restaurant because we walked across the street from our hotel. Oh, remember when we walked across the street? Yo, the people drive batshit crazy in Cairo. Batshit crazy. It was the worst driving I've ever seen in my whole entire life. Talk about the lanes.
Okay, so we were on. So say, just to give an example, and you got
say the Beltway.
The Beltway. You're on the highway. You got 4 lanes, right? Well, Cairo, how they do it? Those 4 lanes, you got cars in all 4 lanes. But in between those lanes, you have more cars.
No, they don't pay attention to the lines. The lines don't matter. It might as well just be a big ass open street with no lines because they don't pay attention to the lines.
Yeah, so those 4 lanes turned into like 7 lanes because you got somebody in the lane, somebody riding the line. Somebody in the lane, somebody riding the line. It's
Yo,
like, no.
crazy. So we had across, it was like 3 lanes. So when I say across the street, I mean across tons of lanes. So we had across like 3 lanes going one way and like 4 lanes going the other way. So the people, when they're walking across the street, yo, they just walk out in it. If you're in the DC area, how the non-melanin people just be walking out in the crosswalks. They don't look, they just walk out because they know you're gonna stop. That's how Egyptians be walking across the street. So we got to the corner and Kareem was like, okay, we just gonna go. I was like, but there's no break in traffic. We not at a light enough. And he was like, no, we just gonna cross the street. He's like, okay, take my arm. So I took his arm. He was like, okay, now. He moved 1 step. I was like, nah, baby. I ain't moved. The cars was coming. He was like, don't stop. Yeah, I ain't got that much trust. So we made it across the street. We sitting up there. Then when the food come.
Y'all, they laid out a spread. I promise you. So look, if you a small plate type person, yo, beware.
Egypt ain't the place.
Beware.
They load your plate up at every freaking restaurant. It wasn't really hardly a lot of big people. It was a few, but wasn't really that many big people. But everywhere we went, the plates is loaded with food.
Yeah, they definitely blessed you with a whole lot of food, bread.
Oh yeah, bread is good.
Yeah.
So then we left that restaurant, went back to the room. I think we went to sleep at that point. I think that was we went to the Sound and Light show.
Oh, the Sound and Lights. Yeah.
If you're going to Cairo and they ask you, do you want to go to the Sound and Light show? Yeah, say no.
Say no.
It was boring.
Your boy slept the whole show.
He fell asleep the whole show. It was really boring.
I saw the beginning. I saw the end.
So don't go to the Sound and Light show. So then we went back to, someone came back and picked us up. We never stepped out of our hotel or anywhere without someone with us. Never.
Yeah, yep.
Someone was with us the whole time, meeting us in the lobby of wherever we were at. So we went back, went to sleep.
Spoke very good English.
Yeah.
So translation was good for us.
Because the next day, that's when the tour guide, our first tour guide, Muhammad, met us in the lobby of the hotel.
Love that dude.
We went to the pyramids. We went to a museum. Where else did we go?
Pyramids, museums.
Something else. We saw a bunch of stuff. After a few days, for real, all the stuff started blending in together.
Right, because some of the ruins and stuff, you start to see the tombs, and you can start to see some of the same gods and stuff that where they worshiped them, but they made, but they were made by different people. So
we visit all that stuff on Monday. I can't remember, whatever the next day was. And what else did we do that day?
We ate again.
Muhammad took us to lunch.
Yeah.
And where did we eat dinner?
Did we eat I think we had dinner at the hotel.
No, Kareem came back and picked us up.
No, Kareem came rooftop.
Yeah, no.
That wasn't rooftop that day?
That's when he took us to New Cairo and we went to the restaurant.
Oh, the bar and the restaurant, New Cairo. Yeah.
We went to New Cairo and
so that's definitely more.
It looked like a restaurant.
It looked like a restaurant bar, lounge kind of thing something to sit.
He wanted us to see New Cairo too, because the Cairo where the pyramids and all that is, it's kind of dirty. It's a lot of people. Everything's old.
Yeah, it's a little old. It's definitely a historical area. But,
and by that time, we was tired. So the next day, Muhammad, our tour guide, came back and met us in the lobby. We went to see some more stuff. We bought our Galabayas.
Yeah, we definitely
from the cotton store.
Yeah.
They
were really nice. Those people in there were really, really
Let me
cool.
tell y'all how we was at the cotton store and Tony was like, I want that. Throw it in the bag. We got up to the register. He was just throwing everything in the bag. Got to the register. There's like 700. I was like, American dollars? Because some places give you.
They gave it to us in pounds. No, he gave it to it was like 6,000 something pounds, Egyptian pounds.
And I was like,
converted it over. It was like $700 and something dollars.
And I was like, yeah, nah, buddy. And you know how you ever been in the grocery store and they ring everything up and it be too much? You be like, okay, put this back, put this back. Put get that back. So Dave's pick out your milk, because I only got this one Galabea, and I had a scarf for my head. And so he was putting stuff back.
Yeah, I felt bad. I really did feel bad because I don't shop. I'm not a shopper. So, but it was exciting because they sit there and they like, hey, you want something to drink? You want tea? You want hibiscus? You want
the
this?
hibiscus was
And I was turned up. I was
$700.
turned up with the hibiscus. Yo, they treated you like so well. It was like going to the Louis Vuitton store here in the US and they give you like the sparkling water or wine or champagne or something and you just sitting there chilling. They doing that on the average regular person going in their store. They're treating you just like that.
Treat you good.
Yeah, the average, like I said, just the average person was getting treated like that.
Yeah, so we bought stuff at the cotton store, bought home a couple of souvenirs. Did you give your nephews?
I gave it to him. Yeah.
Did you show them how to put it on?
Yeah. I showed them a couple different ways to wear it. The head wrap, or they could wear it as a scarf. So they was pretty happy about that.
And we also went to the papyrus store where it's these plants and they take it and make paper. That's how they made paper back in the day. And we bought this to go up. We're going to get it framed, but this is real papyrus paper. And it has a picture of, I can't remember exactly what. So this is
the king.
The king.
The
and then
that's the queen.
The queen. And so I liked it because it represents, so you see how the queen is handing him the arrows. So she's helping out. So he was like, this is me and this is him, Tony, and we're helping them. And all the stuff around has meaning. I bought an ankh. I know the ankh from Erykah Badu. She always used to wear it, but I never knew the meaning of it. It's the sign of life. Mm-hmm. And so they have I forget what kind of birds it is, but this is the papyrus plant, and whole different things have different meanings. And we bought this so we could frame it and put on the wall. Every time we go somewhere, I like to get something for the house. So then when I see it, it brings back all the memories of the trip we had. So that's what we bought back. And it came with a little certificate of authenticity and all of that.
Yeah, because to sit there and they showed us how they actually create the paper.
It's shedding. The paper's shedding on me.
Yeah.
It's real.
They press it together. So they actually like take the plant, take it apart, like shred the stem of it apart, and then soak it in water, flatten it out in a press, and then they start to layer it, like crosshatch, layer it all the way up to create the paper and let it dry in the press. And once they showed
us the beginning of the process. So we did. We're not big shoppers when we go on vacations. We're not big souvenir people. So that's the only thing really we bought. I bought one bracelet. It was camel bone bracelet that was dyed, and I bought the ankh on a chain. That's the only thing we got.
Yeah, that was pretty much it.
So the next day after that, we saw some more stuff in Cairo. Muhammad took us out again.
Yeah.
And then what?
Go ahead. Go ahead, say your part. I can remember mine.
And then we went to lunch at Kareem's. Kareem had already told me that he was going to take us to lunch at his mom's house. He still lives at home with his mom. It's a country where if you're not married, then usually stay at home. He was young, like early 30s.
Yeah, if like 30, 31.
Yeah, he was. So he still lived at home. So, and I was a little nervous because I don't like eating at people's houses here. And so when I'm thinking like I'm going to somebody's house in Cairo and go eat, I was like, I don't know. I was already thinking of stuff what I was gonna do. I was going to put in my mouth, and then every time somebody moved, I was gonna spit it or put it somewhere. But we got there. The apartment was so nice.
Oh, it was gorgeous.
Oh, it was very, very gorgeous.
Beautiful place.
And his mother, even though she didn't speak English, she was so nice. You could know you could see things from people's eyes. She was so nice. But she made this big ass feast. They set the table and we sat on the floor, and she just kept bringing out food.
And it's like, it's only three of us, like Kareem and then Shani and I. that are going to eat this food.
And he 100 pounds soaking wet. Don't eat no food. So I'm like, who all this food for?
Oh man, but she had a huge spread. I'm talking the grape leaves. The grape leaves is like
stuffed grape leaves.
Yeah, stuffed grape leaves. It's almost like collard greens. So if y'all eat collard greens, then you pretty much got somewhat, but it had more of a sweeter taste to it, and it was wrapped in it wrapped around.
I think it was rice or something
else, but that joint was bomb as hell. Every single thing we ate was just beautiful. Oh man, that woman can throw down.
She put out so much food. So then once we were finished eating, she came out, and I could see her face was like balled up a little bit and sad. She's saying something to Kareem. I was like, Kareem, what'd she say? She's like, my mom don't think you like the food because y'all didn't eat a lot. I was like, yo, we ate so much, but she still thought we were supposed to eat more. Yo, they be eating over that joint. Yeah, I don't know what they doing.
The food, to have authentic at somebody's house Egyptian meal was like, for me, was like one of the greatest experiences. I love that type of stuff.
Remember, she made us fresh mango juice.
Yeah. This lady she just threw like all the stops out. She got rid of all the stops. It was like one of the best things ever. Did. I love that lady.
And then Kareem's little cousin came over.
Oh yeah.
He was a university student. And we was asking him, what are you studying at the university? He said, studying to be a tour guide. Yo, they go to whole college to be tour guides. The whole 4 years. And they're an Egyptologist. And it's like the real deal. It's a career. It's the real deal. They have to learn so much stuff. Like when Muhammad was taking us around to the tombs and the ruins and the pyramids, he's explaining all the information that he had in his head was ridiculous.
Yeah, and the fact that that was another thing, like even in Dubai and Egypt, like the number of languages that they can speak. Like Muhammad, he was French, English, and Egyptian, Arabic. I was just sitting there just amazed by like that 4 years of schooling and then his wisdom throughout life. Like you really had, I had super respect for the Egyptologists like that that's doing a tour. We say tour guides, but they were much more.
So the little cousin, he let his little cousin practice on us a little bit. So then we went and we took the tuk-tuk. Remember tuk-tuk? It's like half motorcycle, half wagon.
It's a trike. Yeah, you got one wheel in the front.
It got a little cover over top. It's raggedy as all get out. Raggedy. Like them joints look like they hit a bump too hard, it's gonna fall apart.
You know how in the US we got hoopties, and you gotta make your hoopty. You put your little hub caps on there and try to make it your own.
Tuk-tuk.
Yeah, they did. That's how they did it. They made it their own.
We got a tuk-tuk, and it took us to the place where we got to ATVs, and we ride ATVs almost everywhere we go, especially like in the Caribbean and different places like that. Because we just love ATVs, and we don't have any of our own. I hope you buy one next year for my birthday. That would be a good birthday present. I want an ATV. But anyway, so I'm like, okay, this is going to be an ATV. We must have did probably at least 10 different ATV tours. This is going to be regular.
Nah.
It was that Tony has, if you follow him on social media, on his personal page, he put the video up. So the ATV guide was in front of us. He was like, give me your phone. So Tony gave him his phone. And the whole time he was riding on the back of Yusuf was the little cousin. Yusuf was driving. The ATV tour guide was riding on the ATV, turned around and was videoing us as we was coming.
And we were haul ass.
Talk about the mountains.
Yo, so you sitting there and you going up this sand dune, and we balling going up. And all of a sudden it's like you come to a peak because all you see is sky. And then all of a sudden you look down. And then you got to go down the hill. Oh,
we was riding up the hill, and all of a sudden, Yusuf disappeared.
He
I was like,
literally disappeared. Like we going up and he's gone.
and I got up there and I was like, YOLO. And I just went ahead and started going down. That was the best ATV tour ride ever. And the pyramids are on the side. Like we're actually riding in the desert next to the pyramids.
Yeah, I mean, literally, like the pyramids was like right there, and we're just like riding past, you know, and the energy of being like, just to see, like, damn, like you think about the history of the people and how like Cairo was like this meeting place from people of all over, a trading area, and like some of our ancestors could have came there and did stuff, and we're like riding and just enjoying life. Like the energy was like, I mean, I felt like one of those Egyptian pharaohs and just having enjoying life. Like that ATV ride was definitely everything. It's definitely
and
everything.
So then we went and we went back, changed. Kareem picked us up again. We went out to dinner. The next day, we got on a flight. We got on a flight to a different part of Egypt called Aswan. And we flew to Aswan. It was about an hour flight to get on our cruise ship to sail up the Nile River for 4 days. And I was nervous about this cruise ship. I was nervous because I was like, the room going to be real small. It's going to be raggedy. It's going to be old. Yo.
Surprise.
It was the best cruise ship I had ever. We've been on Royal Caribbean, Carnival. This joint had both of them. Oh my goodness.
It was a suite. It had a living room space. It had the bedroom space. It had an outdoor patio where you could like sit outside. I mean, like the service on the ship was dope as hell.
Yeah, the food was good. It was so good. So on the cruise, every day we stopped at a different part. And so this time we had a different tour guide, Ahmed, and he actually stayed on the boat. So when we got on the boat, he got on a boat. They had rooms on everybody had tour guides. So all the tour guides slept on the first floor, and then we slept in the upper floors in suites. They had like, I guess, 2-person rooms.
They have like service quarters.
Yeah. So that was interesting. But every morning when we would get up, Ahmed would be in the lobby waiting for us. And then we would get off the ship and either get in a car to whatever destination we was going to, or
horse and buggy.
Yeah. And we saw places like the Valley of the Kings. Ooh. Yes, we saw a whole bunch of different tombs. Oh, remember that one tomb that we went to and I got nervous and had to get out?
So, like, all right, I'm 6'3" for some of y'all. Like, I'm tall. I'm a tall dude. But Shawnee had to go into the tomb. She had to scrunch over and bend over to get in, to go down this tunnel.
And you have to walk scrunched over for like how long? 50 feet?
It was longer than 50
100 feet.
It was like it was more like 50 yards. It was definitely like 40 to 40, about 40 yards.
We are in America. It's
football. Okay. No, it's more than that. But football field like a third of a football field.
It was a long time. So you scrunch down, and then you get down and it opens up more.
And then you can stand up a little bit.
And you can stand up. But by that time, my heart is already beating so fast, and we get down there,
it's dark,
and it was more people, and I was like, I'm about to have a panic attack. Like I was like, yo, we got to go. I'm about to have a panic attack. Like I don't know what was coming over me, but I had to get out of that joint. Plus, you had to go out the same way you came in. I'm like, if something jump off, we're gonna be stuck in this thing. I was like, nope, let's go.
And it really, like, the people who created these tombs and these shafts and pyramids, like when you see the detail, the structure, the just like, I mean, they could put some of these builders today to shame because they don't have the tools and the equipment that are available today, but they still created these beautiful, strong structures that have lasted for centuries.
Yeah, and remember how he said, so we learned about how seeing all the different places, how the burial grounds, because the whole thing, the whole purpose of the pyramids and the tombs and everything was to keep the soul of whoever was important, the pharaoh, the king, to keep their soul protected so that it could rise up and go into its next life.
Yep.
And so they said, when in the tombs they would have, treasures and offerings and all this different stuff. And the burial places evolved. The people started off making, big pyramids and stuff like that. But eventually they got away from it because they said, the robbers, all you gotta look for is a big ass pyramid, and that's where
that's where the money at.
That's where the money. So then it went to like having tombs and these underground tunnels and upper ground tunnels, and it evolved and got better. And you could see how it would start off like, I don't know, don't quote us on the dates. It was like maybe 2500 BC,
yeah.
And as time got closer, the numbers go down. So probably like when it got to like 50 BC, it was so innovative. Remember the big giant tomb with the big giant, what was the coffin chambers called? They called it something. Dang, now I can't remember.
I'm not sure.
But they were like
huge.
Made out of one block of stone. And one of the things that I thought was so interesting was talking about how a lot of the stone did not come from Cairo. It came from places like Aswan, Luxor, places that we saw we were on our cruise ship. But to get it to Cairo, what they would do is load these big ass stones in a boat when the water was really, really low, like it was in the dry time.
Yeah, dry.
And they would put the stone on the boat. And then when every year the Nile would flood. So when the water raised all the way up, that's when the boat was able to take off and take the big ass stone up to Cairo.
Now, when I say big stone,
who thought? Like this is so long ago. Like
I'm talking 7 feet tall, freaking like maybe
tons.
20 feet, 20 feet long.
It had to weigh tons.
Yeah, this was huge stone,
solid stone, and it was just amazing. Looking at like the hieroglyphics and seeing carvings of like lungs of bodies and organs and everything like that. They had such a big grasp on anatomy. This is in BC. This is Black people. This is our ancestors that was smarter than a lot of us today and had such primitive equipment and didn't have schooling like we had. And the blackness. It's just, and then it made me feel like that power and that, that excellence of the Egyptians and from back in the day, like that's in all of us now. Like it made me feel proud because most of the time we went to the pyramids and the tombs and everything. It was mostly all Europeans and Asian people. We hardly saw no Black people.
Yeah, it was only a handful of
the whole time we were there, we saw a handful of Black people.
Yeah.
So we're in these places that our ancestors built. Literally built, and the feeling that you got while you were there, like, it was crazy. Like the stories that would be told. Let me tell you the story about now I can't remember her name. Was it Isis? It was so much drama in the story. When he would tell us the stories about the kings and the queens and the different pharaohs and the different gods and what happened. It was drama. This one story was about this woman. Was she a queen?
She became, so it was her brother was the pharaoh, and in order for them to,
he died.
He was dying, so he had married his sister so that way their bloodline could live on. And
he married his sister.
Now there was no love making between the two, But so when he went to go have lovemaking, he married another woman and had a child by
He had another son. So
son,
then when
right?
he died, the son was too young to be the king. So they made
His sister took over.
The sister took over and ruled. But then the son, by the time he grew up, he was salty. So when she died, he went around to the different walls and different structures and scratched her off. What? Yo, petty level all the way up here. Like, it's still today.
Scratch.
You can see where
he had people go through and like remove her name. So like the reason that their names are there and their pictures is so that way their souls can be able to find their way back back to their bodies. But if you
that's not from the pictures.
Well, I mean their names. So that's the way. It's like a way for your soul to find its way back. So that to the afterlife, and at least that's the way their religion set up. And basically, if you can't find your way back, that's the reason they had those pictures. So if you scratch it off, it's hard for your spirit to find its way back.
So
and that was the reason why he did it.
Like the stuff was up high.
He wanted to torture her.
That killed me. I was like, yo, this is the pettiest stuff. We was petty back in the BC. We was super petty.
Yeah, so it was definitely jealousy.
But so many different stories. I was just like, and I don't remember all the stories, but just now, like when we could look at certain Egyptian hieroglyphics and figure it out, and how we know the difference between like if the structure was built when the person was alive or when they was dead, if they were from the north or from the south, from the different hat. Yeah. Different things. And now when we look at this stuff,
it has a totally different meaning now that you know about it. But one of the things that actually got to me was when we was in Cairo, the Cairo Museum, and Muhammad was telling us about that one of the queens, the one she had the body of like a lioness.
Yeah.
And so everyone like in America, and you always hear it and you guys see it on social media and about like, oh, the black woman, she's too hard to get along with. She's not this, she's not that. Like, honestly, when you sit there and see how strong a black woman is, like when you see those Egyptian women and those stories of how these queens were, how these warriors were, and
they were represented like they were very strong.
Like, yeah. So if they had like the body of a lion, it was saying how strong they were. How strong
she was.
And she was this strong woman, and she could sit there and she could beat your ass. She could be very, very submissive. She could be this. And, it's difficult that, like here in America, we sit here and say, oh, the black woman, she's too strong. She's too strong-willed and all of this. But when I saw that, it made me look at, like, if I ever hear, like someone say that, it's like, yo, you just don't know. Like, it wasn't something that was just bred, like they're just independent women. Like, it came from their ancestors and pushed all the way through to now, to today, to sit here and see how powerful these women are, how strong they are, the way that they have the backbone of the family, the way our grandmothers and mothers and friends, to how, like, just to see, I can see here in just the stories that was told about the women. I could see that in a lot of our associates.
You're spitting on me.
Sorry, my bad. I could see that in a lot of our family members, our friends, our associates. Today, I could be able to see that today, how strong they are. And it should. If I wasn't already married, I probably go look for a wife when I heard some of those stories. Like it was that strong. Like it was dope as hell.
Seeing everything, you always hear about King Tut. His actual mummy casing was there, made out of gold. Of course, it was behind glass.
Straight ball.
But one of the things that it tripped me out is when we were at all the structures and everything, you could touch everything. Like, it wasn't like it was roped off. The color, I don't know how they got the colors to still stay and everything, but you could It was
It was only a few areas that we couldn't touch.
Yeah,
a few
it
areas
just
we
blew me how we're just walking around and touching stuff and looking at stuff and having the stories explained to us. It was I did like that part. But by like the next to last day, I didn't want to go on no more tours. I was done with the tour. It was getting hot. That's another thing. We went end of March, beginning of April. They call that still the winter over there. People were saying it's the winter time. And the summer, so our summer, y'all don't go to Egypt. They's like it's hot as shit.
I mean, even their winter, like I think while we were there,
got like 95 degrees.
Yeah, no, it was in 111.
Oh.
Yeah, we were out one day.
It was hot.
Like it was 111, 114. 2 days. One was 111, one was like 114.
But and I said go over to Egypt in August. You will fry. You see how black I am in this tan?
Yeah, definitely take sunblock. I mean, even if you're a dark-skinned person like me, take sunblock. Still take sunblock. Bring a hat. Bring your sunshades. You're definitely gonna need if you got like a little camel backpack or something, that'd be a backpack to carry water. You definitely want to have that.
Oh, on one day we took a ferry over to when we were in Aswan. We took a ferry over to this island called Nubia Island.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy how like I thought about how people say my Nubian queen. That's where it came
like the
from.
Nubian people. Yeah, the
Nubian people. Yeah. It was the island they had, and they had, still primitive way of life. Some of them primitive way of life and everything, and they had their own island. But that was,
and you could tell the difference between when you going down the Nile River. You could tell the Nubian people from others because their homes were really decorated in beautiful colors, very bright, bold
color. The houses had red and orange. Red, yeah. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, they definitely.
We're just gonna paint the whole outside of the house all these different colors. And they also they spoke Arabic also, but they
also had their own language. That
yeah.
It was different. If you wasn't Nubian, or most people didn't understand the
because Ahmed, our tour guide, he went with us. He said sometimes he don't know what they're saying.
Yeah, he was like, I don't know. So it was cool. So it was just the power of different languages.
So the cruise ship, but I would do the Nile cruise over again. It was so good. The name of the ship was the Sinesta Star Goddess. That's the ship we went on. And it wasn't until we got to Cairo because two people asked us, well, what ship are y'all going on a cruise? We was like the Sinesta Star. They was like, fancy. Yeah. I was like, okay, all right.
But you really don't know the people too well, so you don't know their level of fancy. Like, what's fancy to them? No, it was fancy.
It was fancy.
It's American.
To me, it says sunscreen is needed daily, even for people. The UV rays now. These ain't the UV rays of when our parents was growing up. Everybody got to wear sunscreen.
Yeah, definitely recommend it.
But yeah, so we went on we did the cruise. One night we had a belly dancer come and another performer come on a cruise.
Yeah.
Then after we got off the cruise and on our last day, we went on a hot air balloon ride in Luxor, right over the valley. Right next to the Valley of the Kings. It was everything. I'm gonna let him tell you the story about the hot air balloon.
All right, I'm gonna just put it out there. I'm afraid of heights. All right, so we're gonna do that. We're gonna so when the balloon got up to
let me back up. So when I was looking at stuff, I said I want to do this balloon ride. Now, mind you, when we go to Vegas, anybody been to the Stratosphere in Vegas? He won't even walk over to the glass and look out the window. I said, I want to do this balloon ride. You want to do it? He was like, yeah, let's do it. You sure? Before we pay this money and make this reservation, are you sure? He said, yeah. Okay.
All right. So number one, we had to get up at 3:30 in the morning to get dressed to be in the lobby to meet the balloon tour guide at like 4 o'clock, 4 a.m. So that's number one. So we had to get up to do that. So now it's dark as hell outside. We're walking down the port, and
we're following the guy.
We're following the guy, but it's a little sketchy. It's 4 a.m.
It's dark.
It's dark as hell, and he just walking, and he walking fast. And so my head on swivel, so you already know that Southeast done kicked in. So
and all of a sudden another guy came off from
a motorcycle. Yeah, they was on a motorcycle. So you watch those movies, you see one guy on a motorcycle, one guy on the back, and the guy on the back get off. Yo, literally, that's
remember I turned to you. What did I say? I was like, this is when we die.
Yeah. I was like, nah, I'm already ready. I'm already ready. But literally nothing happened. Nothing happened. That was the one thing. So we get on it. We have to take this taxi, one of the boats, and they take us across the river to the other side to get on vans, and we take those vans, and there's tons of people because everyone
tons of people from the ships and the hotels.
And then we had a police escort, so that way they were speeding. They were not doing the speed limit.
That must have been where we was going. So once I saw that we had a police escort to get to the hot air balloon rides, I was like, yo, we must be riding through some shit.
Yeah.
Like is this where they kidnap people or something? Why do we have a police escort?
Like it's a caravan of vans. I mean, like really, it's like probably 20 something vans, and they are balling. I enjoyed that.
So we get to the hot air balloon ride.
Oh, you see the balloons already get blown up.
Yeah, that was
beautiful.
Awesome.
That was definitely beautiful.
So we get on the balloon. The balloon starts going up.
Oh, and your boy good.
He's standing up. I'm like, you good, dude?
Yeah.
So maybe 10 minutes into the balloon ride, he was like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and sit on the floor.
Yo, so if you get nervous or whatever, you're afraid of height, the thing is, don't get crazy. Just kneel down, so that way only thing you don't see anything but the basket. So it can bring you down, kind of keep you calm. And so that's what I did. I mean, I was at 1,200 feet. I was good. When we got about 2,000 feet in the air, and you get to start to see stuff, and I'm just like,
he was like, no.
And they was like, and one dude, he was like, are we gonna go that high? I looked at another balloon that was ahead of us, and this thing
the way. They was really high. We were
2,000 feet in the air, and this damn balloon
was double as high as we were.
And I was like, he was like, yeah, we're gonna go up about that. And that's when your boy got like, okay, I'm gonna go down here.
And people kept asking me, is he okay? It's because it's at least 20 other people on this hot air balloon ride.
Yeah, it was a total of 20 of us.
It's different sections. And so is he okay? Yeah,
I was good.
He'll be okay.
I was down there. I stood there. I stayed calm.
But it was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. My mom was like, how come y'all don't have no picture of y'all two together in the air?
Yeah,
I was like,
Tony wasn't in there. Tony wasn't in there. Slim. I saw a little bit of the sky. Oh, my bad. I saw a little bit of the sky. And then there was this suede trim around the top of the basket. That was the most beautifulest trim I have ever seen in my life.
The thing that cracked me up the most was at the end, the pilot, because the person making all the fire and everything like that. When we got down the bottom, when we start going down, like they're saying the coordinates, because all the vans now are chasing the balloons, because everybody's balloon is landing in all these different on people's fields. They landed on how disrespectful. They landed on people's fields. So they, the ground crew comes and because they're pulling the basket and making sure nobody flip off. Because mind you, like I said, it's like 20 people on there. So they get everything under control. So before we get off, so 10 of the people, they all on one side. The basket is set up in 4 sections. So one whole half of the basket was people from Indian people. Then the other half of the basket was Europeans and us. And he's like, hey, if you enjoyed your trip, thank you. If you want to leave a donation for the grounds people, because they work so hard, they chase our basket, they got us all settled. They wrapped the whole balloon up while we was there. So the Europeans, and there was another American couple there. Everyone, putting in, a couple dollars, $5, whatever like that. The Indian people, they ain't move. They didn't move.
Like, you want to give a tip?
He even came back a second time, right? Held the basket over and was like, y'all want to give anything for the ground people? Yo, they all looked up, looked over, and I was just like, that's gangster. Yeah. I don't know if maybe it's not customary for them to tip or what the case may be, but them bangers was like, no, that cracked me up so bad. I don't know why.
Yeah.
That was our last day on the ship. So once we got off the balloon, we just had to go back to the ship, get our luggage. We did some more tours, and then we got on a plane back to Cairo, checked back into our hotel at the Mina House, had a pyramid view room again.
Yeah. But our tour for going down the Nile, the tour guide, he actually showed us, and what this was dope for me, is that he was a part of some of the digs and the excavations of
in Luxor. When we was in
Luxor. So a lot of the tombs and the ruins that you see there, he was a part of that when he was he's an older guy now, but when he was younger, he was a part of finding some of that, like finding those things. He had
old newspaper articles and magazines
of him holding like different artifacts. Yo, I mean that.
Yeah, he was part of.
Yeah, so it was just to show us, like, yo, I ain't just no. You know, you ain't got any Joe Schmo like you had, because it was crazy. Because I noticed that, like, when we walked around to different areas, people would walk up to him. Different other tour guides would like tip to him, you know what I'm saying, or come up and shake his hand. One little dude, walked up to him and was like, say something in Arabic to him, and they were talking. I'm sitting there like, what the heck? But it was almost like, yo, you're a hero to me kind of thing. Like, you can kind of see that in body language. Like, I just want to shake your hand.
And he's like, you can tell he's like, thank you.
Yeah.
But he had a lot of information. And
yeah.
So then we parted our ways. He didn't come on a plane back to Cairo.
He stayed there.
Because he lived in that area. And then went back to the hotel. And then we, the next morning, flew back to Dubai so that we could come on home. And this was another highlight of the trip. Somebody upgraded us to the business class on Emirates. You ever seen a picture where the people in the pods and the chairs lay down flat and make a bed and you could lounge out, and had a bigger screen TV? They served, every time the meals came, they laid out a tablecloth on your little tray table and gave you fancy drinks. They gave me a drink menu, all these different cocktails. I was like, let me have this one and this one, and let me get this one. Let me get this one next. It was
service. Emirates definitely laid out in the business class. Like, if you ever get the opportunity to like save up, I mean, well, that's what it was. Like, we got a discounted upgrade.
We upgraded. So at the last minute, when we got to the gate, before we were going to take off, he upgraded us, so it was less. If we have upgraded in the beginning, it would have been $5,000 more. Because I had asked how much it would be to upgrade, and they said $5,000. I'm like, that's okay. That's all right.
It was we got it at a discounted rate, but I could tell you, even though the price was discounted, the service was not.
I don't know if I can fly. If the flight is over 8 hours, I'm going to have to be in somebody's business class from now on. I want to be on Emirates business class. I still want to fly Qatar. Qatar is supposed to be the best airline in the world. They're supposed to be number one. I still want to fly Qatar. But next time I go somewhere, I really love Emirates. We gotta get on the business class.
Yeah. So we definitely gonna save up for that.
And I was trying to act like I had been somewhere before, because I started taking pictures, and I was like, ain't nobody else taking no pictures.
yeah, we were definitely new. Like, we even told the flight attendant, we was like, yeah. She was like, this is your first time? So we was like, yes. And she went on and explained everything to us. That's another thing. Like, yo, I gotta step my language game up, because every plane we got on, the pilot would get on and say, hey, welcome to Emirates. I just want to let you guys know that We have so many staff members on this flight today, and we speak a combined total languages of 11 different languages.
Oh, the Instagram is about to cut off. It's been an hour.
Oh, okay.
Instagram, we got on to the meat and potatoes
that's
on the trip. But yeah, we have to fly business. It's funny being on business class because you sit on there first, and the people are walking, getting on the plane, going to economy, and I can see people, and we Black people, Black Americans, sitting on business class. They walking past like, who is these Negroes? You can see the hate in their eyes. They like, how they get up? How these black people? Because there wasn't no other Black people on the plane.
No, some Black people in the back.
In the back?
Yeah. It was some Black Americans. That
right. Because when they walked past, they looked at us like, how y'all get up here? They looked at us. But most of the people were Indian or Arabian.
Yeah, the ones who set up in the
we were leaving Dubai, and they was looking at us like.
But the dude, so because we did last minute, we weren't able to sit together. We had to sit separately. We
sat across the aisle from each other.
So it was a dude sitting, on the window seat, and I'm in the aisle seat, and he was one of the coolest people ever. Like I was asleep one time, and instead of he instead of him trying to wake me up, and I was okay with him waking me up to move my feet, he climbed over my feet, to get out of his pod and it was so nice, and he was just so like, it was just, and they got on, they were deep because it was like him, his wife, it was probably like,
but
70.
That's about our trip.
Okay, my bad, that's it. Yeah. We want to share that. Please, you guys, if you get the opportunity, definitely go. They got different price ranges that you could be able to go. Definitely stack.
Yeah, because the first one, Kareem was showing me the different packages. Because our package was about $6,000 for the both of us. That included all of our flights in Egypt, the cruise ship, the hotel, the tour guides, all the transfers when people came and picked us up and went to different places, the hot air balloon ride, the ATV ride. At the time of this recording, that was the price. Your price may vary. But when he started showing me packages, there was packages that were like $3,000 for both of us. But it was our anniversary, a trip we had been waiting to go on for 2 years. So I was like, I want 5 stars. And I think the price that we paid, the trip would not even a drop in the bucket compared to the memories and the experience that we had on this trip. So if something like this is something you want to do, you want to go with somebody that's totally going to make your trip great, Kareem's WhatsApp is in the description. Hit him up. Tell him we sent you.
Yeah, definitely get the opportunity to go. And don't stress out. Like definitely like how we saved up for it. Definitely
saved up for a long time.
Create that bank account, call it the Egypt account, and go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If it take you, however long, like we waited some years, if it take you that long, go.
But sign us on out.
So we're all freaks that get on the elevator. Only difference.
Oh, wait, one more thing.
Okay.
I forgot. I'll do another video about the winners from the. I'll do another video later. Go ahead, sign us out. I was going to announce the winners from our email thing. I'll do it later.
We're all freaks that get on the elevator. Only difference between us is which floor we get off on. If you like us, you get off on every floor just to see what's going on. So as always, stay sexy, my friends.
Bye.